Why KFC is on the brink of collapse. So here's something wild. KFC, the place with the kernel and the secret recipe and the buckets of fried chicken, is actually struggling hard in America right now. Like, really struggling. Stores are closing, sales are basically back to 2004 levels, and they're getting destroyed by the competition. But here's the weird part. Globally, KFC is absolutely crushing it. They've got almost 30,000 locations worldwide, and they're thriving. So what's going on? How is KFC dying in America while dominating everywhere else? Let's break this down. The China success story. First, let me explain why KFC is doing so well internationally, because it's actually pretty fascinating. Back in 1987, KFC opened their first location in China, in Beijing. They were the very first major Western fast food brand to enter the Chinese market, and they played it perfectly. Instead of just copying what they did in America, they actually localized. They hired former McDonald's executives from Taiwan who understood the market, and they created menu items specifically for Chinese tastes, stuff like egg tarts and fish burgers, alongside the traditional fried chicken. They also didn't just focus on big cities. They expanded everywhere. Small cities, rural areas, all over. And because they got there first and did it right, they became the first Western brand to reach national scale in China. Today, KFC's China business is massive. They have 3 times more stores in China than in the US, and those stores bring in 2.5 times more revenue. They've even spun off other concepts over there. Tea shops, coffee chains, fast casual restaurants. KFC is so huge in China that Americans wouldn't even recognize it. And this China success gave them the blueprint for expanding everywhere else. That's why they now have over 30,000 locations in 155 countries. But here's the problem with success. When 90% of your profits are coming from international operations, where do you think the company focuses its attention? Not in America, that's for sure. Yum Brands, the parent company that owns KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, gets the bulk of their profits from international KFC locations. So that's where all the investment, innovation, and energy goes. Meanwhile, KFC in America has been basically ignored for decades, and it shows. Getting destroyed by competition. KFC used to be the fried chicken place in America, the king. But look at what's happened. Chick-fil-A passed them way back in 2012. Then Popeyes passed them about a decade later. Earlier this year, even Raising Cane's surpassed them. And next year, analysts are saying Wingstop is going to take the number 4 spot too. Think about that. KFC is about to be the 5th biggest fried chicken chain in America. The brand that literally invented fast food fried chicken is now 5th place. Meanwhile, there are newer chains like Dave's Hot Chicken doing $3 million in revenue per store and expanding like crazy. KFC stores, though, they're averaging $1.3 million per location, barely enough to stay profitable. The menu problem. So why is this happening? A big part of it is their menu is outdated. KFC built their whole brand around the bucket, bone-in fried chicken pieces. But that's not what people want anymore. Look at what's popular now. Chick-fil-A sells chicken sandwiches. Raising Cane sells tenders. Wingstop sells wings. All boneless or easy-to-eat options. In fact, over the past 4 years, bone-in chicken meals showed up on 72% fewer menus, while boneless options increased by over 150%. The market has completely shifted. And it's not just chicken chains. Every fast food place now has chicken sandwiches. McDonald's, Burger King, even pizza chains. Everyone's capitalizing on the fried chicken boom except KFC. Meanwhile, KFC's menu has barely changed. They're still pushing those buckets of bone-in chicken like it's 1995. The financial reality. Here's the scary part. KFC franchisees, who own 98% of the roughly 3,600 US locations, are barely staying afloat. With chicken costs rising, labor costs going up, and revenue per store at only $1.3 million, the margins are razor thin. A lot of these franchise owners are at serious risk of going under. So you'd think Yum Brands would be rushing in to help them, right? investing in the brand, updating the menu, doing whatever it takes to save their American franchisees. Nope. Instead, they're building a competitor. The Saucy situation. In 2024, Yum Brands launched a new brand called Saucy. It's a chicken tender concept with 11 different sauces, a nod to KFC's 11 herbs and spices. The first location in Orlando is projected to do $2.6 million in sales, which would make it one of the top 15 performing stores in the entire KFC system. But here's the thing. Saucy directly competes with KFC. It's fried chicken. KFC already has tenders on their menu. This is literally the same category. If you were a KFC franchise owner struggling to survive, imagine how you'd feel watching your parent company pour money and resources into a brand new competing concept instead of helping you. All that real estate scouting, marketing budget, menu innovation, it could be going into revitalizing KFC. Instead, it's going to Saucy. The comeback plan. Now, KFC did announce a revival plan called the Kentucky Fried Comeback, but honestly, it feels pretty weak. First, they gave away free buckets of chicken, which sure, free food is nice, but it's just defaulting to the same old product that people aren't interested in anymore. Then, last month, they brought back their honey barbecue chicken sandwich from the late 1990s at a discounted price of $3.99. But at that price, franchises make basically zero profit. And their marketing strategy? Target Chick-fil-A. They're trying to position themselves as a competitor to Chick-fil-A. But here's the problem. Chick-fil-A passed KFC over a decade ago, and the gap has only gotten bigger. KFC trying to force their way into that conversation just looks desperate. It's like that scene from Mad Men where someone says, "I feel bad for you," and the other guy responds, "I don't think about you at all." That's basically Chick-fil-A and KFC right now. Their most recent quarter did show 2% sales growth, which sounds okay until you realize they're still down nearly 8% year over year overall. Why this is all happening. So let's zoom out for a second. Why is Yum Brands letting this happen? Simple. They're distracted. International KFC is printing money, so that's where their focus is. And now they're excited about Saucy, this shiny new concept. Meanwhile, American KFC is slowly dying, and they seem okay with that. And here's a reality check. Launching a brand new restaurant chain from scratch almost never works. Not a single chain has successfully done it. McDonald's tried with Chipotle, and even that was different because Chipotle's founder had already built 14 locations before McDonald's invested. Starting a chicken tender concept when you already own the most famous fried chicken brand in the world, that's not innovation, that's just confusing. What needs to happen? Look, if KFC wants to survive in America, they need to wake up fast. They need to modernize the menu, focus on boneless options, chicken sandwiches, tenders, give people what they actually want to eat, not what worked 30 years ago. They need to invest in their franchisees instead of competing with them, help them survive instead of launching rival brands. They need marketing that doesn't look desperate. Stop comparing yourself to Chick-fil-A when you're not even in the same league anymore. And honestly, they need to care about the American market again, because right now it feels like they've written it off as a lost cause. My take? Honestly, I don't think KFC is going to turn this around, at least not anytime soon. When a company's making tons of money internationally and their domestic business is struggling, they almost always prioritize where the money is. And Yum Brands has made it clear that's what they're doing. The American KFC business will probably continue declining. More stores will close, franchisees will keep struggling, and in a few years, KFC might be the 7th or 8th biggest chicken chain in America instead of 5th. It's kind of sad because KFC has such a rich history in American fast food, but they got complacent, ignored changing consumer preferences, and now they're paying the price. Meanwhile, they're over in China, thriving with localized menus and innovation, which just proves they know how to succeed. They just don't care enough to do it in America. But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Have you been to KFC recently? Do you think their comeback plan has any chance of working? Or is American KFC basically done? And be honest, when's the last time you chose KFC over Chick-fil-A or Popeyes or literally any other chicken place? Drop it in the comments because I'm curious if anyone's actually still loyal to KFC. If you found this interesting, hit that like button and subscribe because I love covering these stories about major brands that are quietly falling apart while nobody's paying attention. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.